everyone. Welcome to another episode of Dirty Talk. Tonight joining us is, as always, the king of the microphone at our, or one of the kings of the microphone. I better not say king of the microphone because we do have two commentators in Tasmania that do a good job.
Aylett, king of the microphone. Is that what you mean?
Is Mr. Alan Rourke. Welcome, Rourke.
How are you?
Yeah, good mate, very good. Actually, it's the weather's sort of getting better for Saturday, so hopefully we get a good one for this weekend after the washout on the weekend we just had. So yeah. And our
rain out, about as much fun as a tax audit.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is, all these armchair experts suddenly work for the Bureau of Meteorology.
Yep.
The fact of the matter is, Hobart, it has that magnificent spectator hill, which is both a blessing and a curse.
Yep.
And when it rains heavy, that is so slippery, and it takes a couple of days to dry out. And I remember the super promoter Maury Jones putting on a race meeting. Rained on the Friday, but Saturday came good. They had a couple of collisions on the hill, and he had the tractor up there towing people back up so they get their cars off the spectator bank.
Yeah. We don't want that. It's not good. I actually seen some photos of Friday out the pit area, and I reckon it was in some places it was a foot underwater. So
look,
you know.
I feel sorry for Guy Thompson. People are going, he cancelled too early. Well, he's really got no choice.
No,
when it comes to safety. And then somebody put the comment that he hates driving to Hobart. Mate, he spends more time up and down that road than anyone. He loves it.
Yep.
And quite often he'll sneak up over the lakes because it's just a fantastic drive,
Yeah.
So, that comment's just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Rocky. I think there's a few people that need to sort of, I'll say it, pull their heads in a bit. You know, they do not realise what these promoters do in the background. Not just Latrobe, but Carrick, Hobart, the whole lot. They work their butts off to get us a racetrack that we can go racing on every Saturday. So, honestly, hats off to all of them for putting up with all the crap that they do, because it's an absolute joke from some people.
Exactly, and I have never yet met a promoter that likes to cancel a race meeting.
No,
just
they don't.
Doesn't happen.
No.
Yeah, it's losing money fun, is it? Is that the novelty? What I can't understand is when they cancel early, they're trying to avoid the headache of, everyone gets in the gate, no one gets a race in, but everyone spent the money to get there and spent the time to get there. So would you rather go in the pits, roll cars out, roll them through scrutineering, they're all muddy and dirty, and you can't even get on track, and we've achieved nothing, and spend a lot of money getting there and wasting time? I drove down, I'm a truck driver, for anyone that doesn't know, and I actually seen a guy on Friday, and he showed me the photos too, and I was like, what do you expect? You got to cancel that, and the worst part is you can't show that to people, can you? Because then same thing again, the keyboard warriors will still get on there and say, well, you can still pump it out, it will dry out. I had a guy message me Saturday saying how beautiful it was on the Saturday. It's like, I get that, but
Too
you've
late
got to make these
then.
calls early. You can't tell me what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
honestly, I think it's good of him calling it off early, because there's nothing worse than getting halfway to Hobart and then the meeting gets called off. Especially for everyone that's travelling from up on the northwest coast.
There's the glowing light in the forest of the Bonnie Marie at the Epping Forest Roadhouse that lures us in.
Yes, true that.
Or Big Leon at Food Foods and Pete.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a good hot box. That the Epping Forest. That's that cops are pizzling, I reckon.
Yeah. And also
Speedway day and night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also joining us tonight, everyone, is Mr. Lee Aylett. Welcome, Lee.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here, and it's exciting times for super sedans in Tasmania and across the country, and I'm proud to represent the boys and girls, obviously.
Yes, and girls. yes, definitely. 4 new drivers this week, Rocky, down Hobart for the super sedans. Not Hobart. What am I thinking? At Carrick, Cranes Combined Carrick Speedway, we have the Iron Horse Bar and Grill Blitz for this weekend coming up. Hopefully the weather stays fine and we can get a good race meeting in. And like I said, 4 new drivers in supers this year.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. How's this? I know it's supposedly the second round of the Tassie Auto Shot Series, but realistically it's round number 1 because they didn't race last weekend. 19 supers out the gate. Now, it wasn't that many years ago that they were struggling fields of 4 and 5, and people said, that's it, supers are done. And now look at it, nearly 20 entries, and I think you know, I'm not sure how many cars they got registered, Lee. You might have a better idea of that.
Yeah, so I'll correct you on something. We've actually got 20 cars. So the late entry was Paul Howard on Monday.
Yep.
So old Teddy, I spoke to Teddy during the week. Yep, he rang me today. His shocks are turned up, so he'll be over here Friday night, and we'll put him in my Spring Smash machine, which is you can't see that machine, but it's over there somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah. But so we get his car sorted. So there's 20 of them, but we've got 35 approximately cars registered in the state so far. So, but we've also got cars confirmed for next year. So Jacob Jetson recently purchased the ex-Brock Atkins family team car. So from what I heard, those guys won't bring that car home just yet. So the national titles are warnable between February 19th and the 22nd. So I believe that car's staying there for that stint because his brother Corey's going to go over and race that stuff.
Yep.
Then at the same time as my new car's being built, there's another fellow Tasmanian by the name of Brad Herbert that's got a brand new car being built.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
Socials, but you definitely got 2 confirmed cars for next year, and there was a Tassie 6 driver. I won't say names or anything because he hasn't announced nothing yet, but he was getting a quote on a brand new Dominator as well. So we could have 3 potential new cars. We could have more, but I think there's a lot of excitement around the division, to be perfectly honest with you. I think, as you mentioned before, we had 5, 6 cars were battling between that sort of 2015 to 2018 era, where late models were being introduced into the state. So then people were either selling their supers, getting out, or selling their supers to buy late models, or just getting out because we went through this pandemic, not the pandemic, it's the wrong way to put it, but where the cost of our engine rebuilds were too expensive. So then obviously they started to introduce crates, and now we're back at strong numbers. It's kind of just like a big circle when you think about it.
Yeah, it's great for our division, to have these numbers. We'd have to be up in the the top state in Australia with numbers of super sedan, I reckon. I don't think I know of any other state that has so many.
So look, I follow obviously quite a lot of the super sedan stuff. Queensland do very well, but if you had asked me last year, I would have said they're probably doing better than Tasmania for the simple fact of there's a quality bracket, then there's a quantity bracket. I felt like they probably had both of them over us. But in the off season, as we all seen, Darren Kane and Ian Botcher Race Parts decided to part ways. Matt Pascoe is left without a ride, so straight away you lose 2 big names to the Queensland roster. That same thing, they come down for our month of madness, and well, really, their names are always thrown in the mix of your top 5s or top 3s if you looked at the record books. Like Matty and Darren, Darren won both races last year, the Grand Prix and Grand National, and before that, Matty won 3 or 4 Grand Prix, if you can quote me on that. But the 2 national titles he won at Latrobe, the last 2 that were held at Latrobe, Matt Pascoe won. So to lose those 2 guys, that definitely brings the quality of the Tasmania cars against the Queensland guys, and it's probably safe to say almost that we probably have the most competitive series in the country.
And people at home are thinking, Matty Pascoe hasn't got a ride. He owns Sweet Chassis. What's to go? But Matty Pascoe hasn't raced his own car for 3 or 4 seasons. I think is it Sean Barnes that owned it, or am I mistaken there?
So Matt Pascoe, he's had, for the 4 national titles he's won, he's had 4 different car owners.
Yeah, righto.
So he won his very first title at the Motorplex in 2013, which he was racing for a bloke named Vic Bugler, which is now Brad Pascoe's car owner. Then you fast forward to 2015, which was the title that was held at Latrobe. He was driving, it was a yellow and black car. He drove for Rick Massara, which was a car runner out of Perth. Then you fast forward to, it would have been 2018, he won at Moama. 2019 he won at Moama, and that was in the Alan Barnes car, Barnes Drilling.
Alan's Barnes, sorry, that's the name I was thinking of,
then the car where him and Matt Williams went hammer and tong at Latrobe, that was in the Colin Kane car, which is now the Josh Piscaneri car, if anyone didn't know.
Right. Yep.
So a bit of trivia. But same thing again, you talk about the Kane and Pascoe thing, from 2013 to even 2025, Matt's got 4 national titles, Kaney's got 3 of them in that time. It's a lot of numbers when you think about it in that short time, just between 2 drivers.
Oh, exactly. They're both very dominant. Slightly different driving styles, though. Everyone thinks they're the same, but the way they approach their driving and their racecraft is quite different, isn't it?
I quite enjoy watching the pair of them, and I think, it's that they age like fine wine. That might sound stupid to some, but I use David Nichols as a classic example for a lot of things. And Rocky, me and you had an interview last year, and it was the first heat where Corey Jetzel was on the front row with Dave Nichols. And we talked about, a bit of surface rust with Dave Nichols. Is he going to go? What's it going to be? And I'm thinking, he's done 43 years. He's been around this place once or twice, It's just like riding a bike. But when you watch, Matt Pascoe has an excellent craft when the tracks tend to go away. And that's generally the concept with Matt, where Matt, early on the heat races, if the tracks are quite heavy and fast, he does do great. Don't get me wrong, they're both fantastic, but he excels when tracks go away because he can find balance and manage his stuff in those long races, and he's patient. And that's probably the biggest thing where a lot of young drivers or inexperienced drivers don't have the patience when it comes to the long races. Because
he conserves those tyres, doesn't he? He's not like buzzing the tyres up. He's just like squeezing that throttle rather than stomping on it. And that makes a big difference. Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. He's smooth on entry. He trail brakes really well, and he's able to keep tyres underneath him. If we were to talk about Darren was a very up on the wheel sort of driver, and it suited the Dominator concept, I guess, where Dominators pretty well across the board with any drivers that went in their cars, like your Cody Browns, your Dave Gartners, all your heavies, even the Colas when they were sort of knocking around with them. That Ryan Alexander, they were always up on the wheel drivers that could drive those cars, but when the tracks blew away, they tended to struggle. And last year was probably the first year where I've seen them excel in a track that wasn't hooked up or had a cushion. Like, I watched the film on Saturday where it was Kenny was obviously on the pole. Was he on the pole? He was on the pole of the prelim night of the the Grand Prix. Sorry, was running second between him and Brock Atkins, but then he made anything bar the top work.
Yeah.
Then you go to the Grand National, he put it on the pole and he made it look easy. Like, he just rolled around the bottom. And I got talking to their crew guy after that, and they probably still had 50 laps in their tyres, where a lot of guys canvas tyres. So, honestly, they probably found a recipe after all this time to win that race, because that's just what it took.
Yep. Nah, hats off to them. They're such great, talented drivers, and hopefully they hang around for a few more years. Back to Carrick for the weekend, Rocky. Also on the program, we have 9 modifieds. 12 Formula 500s. Tassie 6s have finally got on the track with 7 nominated.
Well, actually 8. Apparently there's a late nomination according to the Tassie 6 Facebook page, but they didn't say who the late nom was. So,
yeah, right. Production
great to see the 6 shooters back.
Yep. AMCAs have 17. Production sedans 8. Junior sedans are back on track, and they've got 9 new stars and 10 top stars. So,
certainly. Looking forward to the new stars every year.
Yeah,
so new blood comes in, and see those drivers taking their first tentative laps, and then by the end of the season, they're just scaring their parents.
Yep, certainly are. Gates open at 1
o'clock. You've got
o'clock.
all this to look forward to, Lee.
No, don't tell me that.
Excellent.
Oh, you're probably right, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well, look, you had no choice but to go Speedway route. Your grandfather, your dad, your uncle, everyone in the family, it's Speedway's the passion. There's no if buts or maybes there. It's just part and parcel of the Aylett name, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we got this cozy coupe, which is where you put the kids in just to push them around. And my daughter absolutely cracks it when you try to get her out. She's, keep pushing me, Dad, keep pushing me. And, when Mum's not around, I'll do some wheelies in the house and, slide around corners and stuff, and she just looks at me like, is that it? Are we going to keep going?
Hasn't she learnt faster?
She goes too fast.
Yeah. What would be awesome? If your daughter races super sedans or ends up racing super sedans, right? And she's an Aylett, and then we've got Callum Harper's missus and him have just had a daughter as well, and we have a female super sedan driver with the name Harper. Imagine what that'd be like on our speedway. Like, no one ever seen that coming, I bet.
I reckon Callum and Sam have their hands full. If they got 2 of them that want to race supers, God help them.
Grandpa Jared's super busy now.
The boy believes it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Hayden, I think his name is.
Chatham, yeah.
You can see that in him. Like, he loves it. And, yeah, well, the clock's ticking, isn't it?
Yeah.
13 or 12 years away, he'll be in the Super.
Yeah, exactly. He's already putting around the paddock on some little thing that they've got up there. I can't remember what it was now, but, yeah, he's already around doing laps around the paddock on it. So it won't take him long, that's for sure.
No, God, no.
So how are you travelling, Lee? How's your car looking, mate?
Yeah, look, we've been busy. Let's just call it that for the minute. So obviously back in January we were leading that heat race, and I think we got the commentators curse Rorky if you reckon.
Yeah.
Nah,
we're just talking and then it just went. Disaster just came apart like a cheap Chinese truck, didn't it?
It was a big lick too. It wasn't no small crash, was it?
No, and if you want to know, it did hurt. But so from then, it was kind of funny. So during that week of the Dash for Cash, I rang Aylett Race Parts, got my quotes, made my decision to order a Dominator on the Thursday. So we kind of made the decision, right, we'll cancel the boat to go to Murray Bridge because I didn't feel that we were good enough anyway. I felt like, well, we just didn't have enough time in the car, and I didn't want to go all that way, spend all that money to not feel like I was going to win it, to be absolutely fair. So we cancelled the boat, put a deposit on the car. So I advertised it the Thursday night and destroyed the car the Friday.
Yep.
So that sucked in a sense. But look, since then we sold that car to Nathan Howes, which Nathan Howes, I believe, they're not running that car just yet, but they're in the process of building that car as a second car. Then at some point they'll announce it when they're going to race that. Then I've just been trying to sell stuff, and I had 2 cars to sell. So I just sold my old girl, which was the first car probably I've written off in Tassie when me and Jamie Collins were head-to-head for the Tasmanian title 3 years ago. So that's going to Rockhampton, so that's got its new owner now. So at this stage, my car will be home in 2 weeks, around the 23rd of November.
Yep.
So at this stage, I probably won't make the 6th, but I'll probably make the 13th.
Yep.
So we didn't order a complete brand new car. We had engines, gearboxes, shocks and stuff. Just salvage basically what we could use and what was good enough to use is probably the better way to put that. So anything where we could save money, because same thing, we're not a massive budget team, but we just kind of had to make it work to our budget.
Yep.
We made that happen. So we got to a deal with Aylett Race Parts and us, and we're happy to be part of the team. So it's exciting times for Aylett Motorsport, that's for sure. And we've got a lot of great partners behind the whole deal. When, I kind of went to him and said, look, this is what we got to do. I didn't feel as comfortable as what I wanted to in the short time I had the last car. So, and my past experiences with Dominators, we were good. I don't know what it is with cars in a sense and what brands you get, but sometimes there's a certain car that suits you, and it's a lot more fine tuning to suit me with the Dominator than it was a Sweet or an Insane, or I felt like I had to do a lot more.
Yep.
And sometimes when you're changing up your racecraft too much, you kind of lose track of where you were. And last year you probably saw a lot of that, and even the year before, where moments were good, really good, and moments that were just shocking where it's not really been like that before, which, same thing as a learning curve. You've got to learn these things, but we're excited to see what direction this all goes, and let's bring it on.
Excellent.
Cool. What about your better half? Your wife, Claire, is she having a run in the Tassie 6?
So my wife's pregnant.
Again?
No,
Congratulations.
Thank you. So, no, her car will sit here for the year. She'll race next year, definitely.
You don't muck around, Lee, do you? You don't muck around at all, mate. We'll get them both out early.
Well, there's no race car there. What am I going to do?
No, congratulations, mate.
No, she has the passion just like I do to go racing, and we just ordered some engine bits for her, and we'll get that car sorted, and they'll be back on track soon. But we're just at that sort of phase where we want to have kids young and get all that sort of stuff done and bring them up through the sport. Obviously, it's how I grew up and it's how Claire grew up, and life's just moving fast, and it's just got to move with us.
Excellent, mate. That's what you want, and congratulations. That's awesome. Like, what are we hoping for, mate? Another girl or a boy?
Look, to be absolutely fair, as long as it's white and healthy, I'm happy. But look, the biggest thing would be, I honestly think I want a girl. To be honest, I enjoy the whole girl dad thing. It's it shows you a different avenue. Obviously, boys, we grew up a certain way, and I had an older brother. And me and him just used to carry on, punch on, used to love each other, hate each other. We played basketball, we raced together. So I did enjoy that aspect. Don't get me wrong, but. I think girls are just a bit more chill, but ask me in 13 more years, I probably won't say that. But
definitely so. So there's a few things that Nathan sent me on an email. Did you get the email I sent you, Rocky?
Yeah, got that.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to read it?
Well, I don't know. That's what emails are there for, aren't they?
Oh, really?
We've got a few.
Sorry about that.
We've got a few people to thank. First of all, we'll thank all our major sponsors: Speedway Sedans Tasmania, Speedway Sedans Australia, Richmond Speedway Incorporated, Nets Tasmania, Castlestone Quarry, Australian Racing Products, EB Graphics. Emma there at EB Graphics, she does all the jumpers, good, and they're always brilliant as always. She's a gun at doing jumpers and t-shirts and pretty much anything else. Jay Weiss, Civil Construction and Excavation. I hope I've got that right.
Yeah.
Roberts Don Mac, Documents Management, Masters Roofing, Speak Up Stay Chatty, Black as Asphalting and Gun Fabrication. A big shout out to, and of course us, Tas Auto Shots Media. Big shout out to everyone for getting on board this year and being sponsors of the series. It's great to see. And that the series is just going to get bigger and better, I think. We've 16 nights of racing over 8 rounds. We've lost 1 round because of a washout, of course. Plus, we've got the Grand National, the Grand Prix, the Gene Cook Memorial at Carrick. And then next season, we've got the Australian title coming to Latrobe. So it's going to be full on over the next 2 years or plus, over the next few years maybe in Tasmania for super sedans, which is good to see, I think.
Oh, it certainly is. Just the strength, and it's not just about the numbers, but the quality's there as well.
Yeah, yep.
A few years ago, and I've been to a couple of other states, and I'm not going to mention them by name, but they've got 1 or 2 good cars, and then there's, 10 or a dozen fillers, where here it's just all good cars, really.
And
there's no mobile chicanes anymore.
No.
Which is a great thing.
Yeah, no, it's good. Everyone's good quality drivers now. The cars are quality. The cars all look good. Everyone's taking a lot of pride in their work in Tasmania now. And one more big shout out to Brad and Amy at Devil Race Parts. They're sponsoring the weekly Hard Charge Award with a $120 voucher to the driver, the car, and the Hard Charge Award will also get an extra 20 bonus points towards the end of year series, which is something to look forward to. Yeah. Delaware restarts, Lee. What do you think of them?
First of all, I'll say thank you, Jamie, for the 3 years in Continued Sports to being the name sponsor of our series. I think that's important to mention. And on that topic too, I think a lot of people that don't understand how this series works and the sponsors work, we get paid from 1st to 20th in our series points. So each individual night will get paid by the promoters and whatnot where you finish. But to give you an idea, the overall points last year, so Wayne Dillon was our Tas Auto Shots Super Sedan Series champion. He walked away with $2,700.
Yep.
That's a lot of money to end a season on, to then go into the same thing next season where we're spending tens of thousands of dollars on fresh bodies and engine rebuilds. For those 15 names that you read out, the big credit to them, and thank you for all their continued support, because that money doesn't go unnoticed for anyone that needs to know. It's what makes this division and what this series is so good. And like I said, people like you, Jamie, that get on board and support it in the ways that you do, whether it is money, whether it is buying a T-shirt or a hat or a stubby holder, it goes massive. So I'll start with that first. But the Delawares, so Steve Latham, our president, put the statement out on our group chat the other day, and I like it. I've always been a fan of it. There's probably 2 ways to look at it in a sense, right? So you've got the crowd point of view. There's nothing more boring on a crowd point of view when you get a restart in a race where before the restart you might have had the 2nd and 3rd place or a 5th and 6th place car battling out for a position, sort of one on the top, one on the bottom, or putting on a good race. So then having a caution, so then having a single file restart.
Yep. Yep.
So I think single file restarts have their place, which is same thing, 2 or 3 restarts after Delaware's if drivers can't sort their stuff out, if they're spinning out or tearing up or whatever they're doing. So for a crowd spectacle, I like it because it puts on a show for the fans, and ultimately, if we don't put bums in seats, we don't get paid. If we don't get paid, we don't rock up, which is the basic principle of it all. From a driver, it can benefit you and it can bite you in the bum.
Yeah.
So, which we've all seen several times, right? Like you could be, like I said, running third and being half a lap behind, have a Delaware, and it's top dominant where you're running a cushion up against the fence. And, well, you know you're going to get the second place car, so now you've picked off second place. Now, do you sort of play coverage or do you make intent for the lead? It's such a driver's game, and obviously drivers that do have the natural racecraft read that really well. And ultimately, look, they can make and break a race, I believe. I'm glad we're doing it the way where the lead car gets the right of way.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys have been watching much on the Queensland series lately, but they're doing the double file Delaware starts where the pole car doesn't get an advantage. So he doesn't even get to choose the top or the bottom. And yet he's still got the car in second starting beside him. So it happened at Bundaberg. I think Harry Doyle was leading the feature. So then they had a Delaware start, and it was top dominant. So then Joel Berkeley just, same thing, was that half a nose in front on the start, beats him to the first corner, and suddenly, like I said, Joel Berkeley's no slouch. He's the national champ.
Yeah.
So Harry Doyle was sort of straight away in front, then gets railroaded in that sense. So from a driver point of view, that sucks. From a crowd point of view, if you're a fan of whoever, it's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
As a commentator,
I probably stand with that whole thing.
Yeah. As commentators, we love the Delaware restart. It just adds that extra element. It is a bit unique to Supers in Tassie, so that's always good.
And also, I've seen a lot of single file restarts over my time. I've seen a lot of speedway events. And when you have a single file restart, sometimes when you've got 20 cars, there's half a lap between first place and the last car at the start. And I think that's just... I really love the Delawares. I reckon we should have it in every single division. I reckon it is great. It is great spectacle for everything. I think I really don't like single file restarts. I think it gives the back cars have got too much of a disadvantage, and it's a long way to get back half a lap in this motorsport, isn't it, Lee?
Well, why don't you tell us what you really think, Jamie?
No, I don't.
In a sense, it's not really wrong. So I love it when commentators come to you and say, races aren't won in the first corner.
No.
Look, they absolutely aren't, but a lot of the races dependent on that first corner.
Yeah.
But the Delawares give you that second chance. So it's like I said, if you've got a track that is a sort of one-lane dominant track, or there isn't a lot of passing, or even if there is a track that allows a lot of passing, it does put you back in the race.
Yeah.
So there is the disadvantage from being single file, and as you said, the first place car's coming out of turn 4, but then you still got the 10th place car that's just rolling into turn 4, but the 20th guy's halfway down the back straight.
Yeah.
And they're just going green. And so it's, I like it for that sort of sense because they can benefit and they might not. And hey, it's just luck of the draw. And, well, you're better off being lucky than good some nights, and you take that on the chin.
Yeah, no, I absolutely.
Tell you, there's been quite a few races won on turn 1, that one.
Yeah.
And then they've covered.
Yeah, definitely.
As commentators, we might not say it, but we know it does happen at times. The other side of it is sometimes people go in too hard, lap 1, turn 1, and tear up some gear, and you never win in that respect there.
Yeah, no, I totally love the Delaware restart. It's brilliant. I think, like I said, I reckon every division should be Delaware restarts, but, it is what it is. We still love our sport no matter what. Yeah,
100%. Now, let's talk money. $114,000 at the last time I heard for the Mad Month of Money across the 6 big nights of racing. That is a reasonable amount of cash, isn't it?
That's ridiculous. I love it. So that's the first thing I'll say. And I feel like it's probably the first time that, well, it's not really the first time, but supers are being paid what they deserve to be paid. So when you have the names here and the quality of cars, and especially for what we're spending, so I won't go into the figures too much of what obviously this new car cost me or what it costs to have a front-running car with the best equipment. But if we're racing for $10,000, $15,000 nights, and same thing, we get lap money, we get pole shuffle money, point money, heat race money. I think for all 3 of those events, bar the state title, we're getting, if you run well, you're getting what you deserve. So I think it's a big credit to obviously Guy and Steve for raising the money, how they've done it through their sort of supporters and sponsors. And I think if the Tassie guys, so like I said, there's 35 registered cars in the state, right? I'd be disappointed if there wasn't 35 registered Tasmanian cars at these events. Yeah. Because if there's something that needs support to come back again and again and again, it's the month of madness. I know it's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's hard on everyone, especially wallets, and especially if you tear up one weekend, then you still got to go to work your day job and everything. I absolutely understand that better than anyone because I've done it as a mainland driver and as a local driver. Yep. But that sort of money, no one else races for it. I think Gladstone last year had a $20,000 race. You've also got the Ian Botcher race for $10,000, and then Moama for Easter for $10,000. But we literally have 1 month where you can make more money than any of those other big races combined in 1 month.
Yep. In little old Tassie.
Yep.
Once again, punching well above our weight.
And it's
absolutely. But it gives the concept for people to come because, man, let's just say, Brad Pascoe 2 years ago led every lap of every single one of those races. Well, part of the Tasmanian title, I think he led maybe half of that, but still won it nonetheless. But the Grand Prix, put it on the pole. So he got the extra $1,000 for putting on the pole, led every lap, walked away with $5,000 of lap money. Then it was $17,500 weekend total for the Grand Prix. Then the Grand National, he walked away with $12,500 with his lap money and the feature race payout. Plus, got the extra $2,500 bonus for winning both events. Yeah. So he had $40,000 then for those two events.
Yeah. No, it's great to see the amount of money coming into our state that is going back into motorsport and Speedway in particular, and the drivers actually getting what they deserve. It's great. It's these cars aren't $3,000-$4,000 cars you can just go and buy from a bloke up the road and drive him down the road. These are what, $120,000, $130,000, $40,000 cars, like.
Yeah, well, that engine there.
Yeah.
So that was my American engine that I bought a couple of years ago. That was $72,000 landed here.
Yeah, righto.
And that's just on an engine. So you still got shocks. You still got a car.
Yeah.
And the cars cost me a lot of money considering the stuff I provided for it. But the US dollar doesn't help. The import duties don't help. The freight doesn't help.
Yeah.
Which ultimately, that's probably what's killing the sports. I wouldn't have said the parts suppliers are killing the sports as such. It's same thing. All the parts suppliers buy their stuff from the US because that's just where everything's manufactured and made. So you get your 63 cents, I think, US.
Yeah.
US dollar.
Yeah.
I think a cent. But then the freight. Obviously, you guys know since COVID, if you paid, I don't know, let's just call it $7,000 a container full of tyres. That's now a $20,000 container.
Yeah.
So it's already getting hard to live, and most of us drivers do have young families and whatnot and have to live before we go play race cars. And it's just not that easy anymore. No. So it's when you have a state like we do, like I said, they got 20 cars on a weekend. Realistically, 15 of them can do well, probably win, maybe throw a wild card for a top 5 there, but there's 15 great quality cars. Like you don't see that really anymore. Even with a lot of the other divisions, bar sprint cars, you walk down pit road and Toowoomba on the sprint car night, they're all, immaculate. Well, these are super sedans. And as we spoke about 5 years ago, we didn't have that. Yeah. Now we fast forward to now. So even, we talk about a lot of the new guys that are coming to the division, like Chris Gallagher. He's bought Kim Jury's car. And anyone that knows that car, that was the ex-NZ36 Ryan Alexander car.
Yep.
So that's no slouch, right? Jake Weasing bought Aaron Dillon's old car, then Aaron Dillon bought the ex-Brad Pascoe car, which was the Gary Hicks car.
Yep.
Like it's, even the guys that maybe 5 years ago didn't have the car, but maybe had a nice motor, they're now getting cars. Like even Wayne Dillon, he had a Rocket, 5 years ago, bought this sweet, and up until last year, he never won a feature.
No.
So then he went out and won the Gary Devlin on Boxing Day, then went and won the prelim night at the Grand National.
The Jet Stag, yeah.
And you look at the new names coming in. You got Hamish Priest, no slouch behind the wheel. Chris Gallagher can wheel the car. Ellis Dickerson can definitely wheel the car. And Luke Wilson, like we've seen Luke in a modified, mate, and he ain't no slouch either, So it's good, talented drivers coming into the field too, which makes it even better, like.
Yep, and Luke Wilson's in the ex-Darren Kane Australia 1 car that won at Albany in 2017.
Yeah.
So we've seen the car go. Like and that's the kind of point I'm making. So even the guys that are coming in, they're getting good equipment.
Yep.
So they're not sort of just buying something to go racing and maybe upgrade later. They're buying good stuff.
Yep.
Which, same thing, it makes it dangerous. But dangerous is probably the wrong word, sorry, but makes it like you've got 15 cars that can win on any given night, and if you're off your game just a little bit, same thing, you're gone. So, like I said, Jacob Jetson's was a hell of a modified operator. He's now got a super, and he'll be good. Brad Herbert's same thing.
Yep.
Hell of a modified driver going in a super. He's going to be good.
Yeah, no.
And then Matt Crawford. I don't know if anyone's heard that one, but Matt Crawford's got the ex-Mick Nicola portion bar suite.
Yeah, I actually thought we
spent a lot of money. It's a good car. Like, it just shows that the guys that are coming in, they're not.
I actually thought we would have seen
exactly right. So I've got to. Yeah, it's a massive credit to our division, and Sorry, what was that, Jamie?
I said I'm actually surprised we wouldn't see Matt this weekend, but he mustn't have the car ready because I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago at Carrick, and he said he was working on it.
Yeah.
So he can't be far off getting out there.
Yeah, so they've had engine issues.
Yeah, righto.
So what's happened? They went to load up Thursday for practice, the Carrick practice, and did some investigating when they fired it up. Didn't sound right, and it had bent push rods.
Oh.
So that's now resulted in a full engine rebuild.
Yep.
So I hope it doesn't take him too long. I hope Matt, can get back out. The same thing, and he's quite a handy street stock guy. So, and those street stock drivers typically, when they jump into a purpose-built race car, they generally run pretty good.
Yeah.
So, and same thing, he's in great equipment. So, I know him and Mick Nicola are working on getting parts together to get that engine back together, and I hope to see him in the near future, especially for the month.
Imagine the cars that are going to be here though. Like, if we get 20 mainlanders come down for the Mad Month, plus have 35 registered cars on the track as well, that's going to be a great field of cars. That's Australian title field, isn't it? That's great to see in Tasmania.
Well, it's bigger than an Australian title field.
Yeah.
Look at the number of there were a lot of cars at Murray Bridge, but weren't 55.
No, but that'd be great to see in Tasmania. That's credit to the Tasmanian.
The only problem
boys.
is, I feel for the promoters again. A lot of their pits just aren't big enough.
Yep, and we might have to drop a couple of divisions, to fit 55 cars in, because that's a lot of round of heats, isn't it? But anyway,
like imagine that spectacle on that. I know Harry Doyle's confirmed, Lucas Roberts is confirmed, Joel Berkeley's confirmed.
Yep.
You'll have Zach and Brad. Matt's obviously a big question mark at the minute. And I think there will be a surprise driver at some point, but I probably can't say too much on that one.
Surprise
nothing
driver.
to do with me, but nothing's been announced yet, so I won't say nothing. But
righto. Yep.
But look, the month of madness, it's just something that you put in your calendar even before the next year comes around, don't you?
Yeah.
Like it's...
You can tell us off air and at the end, and we'll be sworn to secrecy.
Okay.
And to make it even better, we've now got the Gene Cook Memorial, which Cranes Combined Carrick Speedway have chucked in there as well. That's just, I can't wait for that to go off. I reckon that's going to be a great event at Carrick. It's awesome, I think. It just adds that extra weekend, doesn't it?
Carrick was his local track back in the day.
Yep.
That's where he cut his teeth in Speedway, and he ended up going all right, winning all those Marlborough Grand Nationals up at Liverpool back in the days of pavement pounders.
I remember them days, Rocky, as Latrobe. I never went to Liverpool, but I can remember when Latrobe was tarmac and watching the big Grand Nationals roll around there, and Gene Cook, Chaz Kelly, Sess Hendricks, Neville Harper, it was back in that. That's old days. That is. Showing our age now, mate.
I wasn't thought of.
was
Sorry,
mate. Was you a little sperm then, Luke?
Dinosaurs from back last century.
Yeah, what are dinosaurs?
I think we have a name for them. We call them commentators.
Commentators, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right, we've got something else we've got to talk about, Lee. So just bear with us for a second.
Before we do, I need to apologise from last week.
All right.
The deaf community. Sorry. I didn't mean to upset when I said it, hadn't fallen on deaf ears. Please, don't take that the wrong way,
I don't put... They won't see it anyway, so...
Yeah.
I won't hear it, sorry. I'll rephrase that. They
you.
won't hear it. I'll get that
Big
right.
shout out to all our Auslan community too.
Yep, big shout out to all of them.
Yeah.
The name, this side. No,
Yeah.
that way. Yeah, the name, Dirty Talk.
Mate, look, there were lots of entries.
Yeah, there was. There was great.
Harder to pick than a broken nose.
Yeah, there was.
So we cheated and put all the names in a hat. Is that how it went?
No. I didn't have that big of a hat. So yeah, no, we picked about 4 out, and then I had a bit of a look at them and went, oh yeah, I don't mind that, and so I sent her an inbox to Rocky, and Rocky went, yeah, no, I don't mind that either. So the winner of the changing the name competition is Miss or Mrs. Crystal McGuinness from Hobart. She put in the name Sling and Dirt, so that's what we will be changing the name of the the podcast to next week. We haven't changed it yet because we didn't want to wanted to know who the winner was just yet. But congratulations, Crystal. You have won yourself a pass to Cranes Combined Carrick Speedway, a family pass for Boxing Night at Carrick, which is one of our best events that we have at Carrick. It's always a great night racing. So I'll be in touch with you tomorrow to organise that. And a big shout out to Scott Piper and Steve Jessup and all the team there at Cranes Combined Carrick Speedway for giving us the pass to give away. And make sure you get on their page, check them out, like the page, and get out there and watch some race meetings because it's going to be epic. Absolutely epic this weekend.
Gates open at 3, racing from 5 at Cranes Combined Carrick Speedway for the Iron Horse Blitz.
Yep.
They do those early starts, and it's great for families because it means it's all done by 10 o'clock at the latest, and people can be home at a reasonable hour. And the funny thing is, as Lee can attest to, when you've got young kids, you know, when it gets to about 8:30, 9 o'clock, they're tired and they want to go home. If we're only through the second round of heat, sometimes that can be a bit harsh on them by so there's only 1 or 2 races to go. The kids will hang in there, and then people aren't disappointed. So
exactly,
it's always good.
Right. And if you can't get to the track, and you know you want to be not being able to walk to not get to the track, because honestly you should be there, you know. But if you can't get to the track, Claver View is back on this week in Tassie, so we will be live streaming the cast on Claver View. So look up Claver View and look for the Cranes Combined Carrick Speedway one and join up, and you can watch it from home as well.
Sounds good.
And also big shout out to Angry Man Photography. He'll be back this week, I think. Rocky, you've spoke to him today, so I'm gathering he'll be at Carrick this week.
For all those, the big man, he will be at Cranes Combined Carrick Speedway.
Yep.
He's got a couple of people that have contacted him, and the reality is, look, if you're going to a sponsor and you're after big dollars, and let's face it, we all need big dollars to race. If you give them a photo taken off a camera phone, it just looks cheap and poor, and it says you don't appreciate what they've done for you. It's a good investment to get, well, he's arguably the best in the business, former Speedway Photographer of the Year, Motorsport Australia Photographer of the Year. Just a great bloke with it. So
he is.
Contact him. And here's the thing, he's not going to take a million shots anymore. If somebody says, I want shots of my car, that's what he's going to focus on.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he does it, but every year he comes up with new angles, new ideas and things. Like me, I'd be taking the same shot every year. But Angry Man comes up with different things all the time.
Yeah, and like you said, he's the best in the country. I don't care what anyone says. I've gone away with Angry Man and done work at the Australian Tarmac Rally. I've done work with him at the Speedway. And honestly, mate, you will not find a better photographer in Australian motorsport, I don't think. I think he's the best in the country. And, you know, for the price of his photos, and people don't realise, it's not just take a photo and, let's sell it. It's take a photo, go home, and do hours and hours of editing, going through thousands and thousands of photos, and then picking out all the good ones just so we can keep everyone happy at home and have the best shots of their race car. So do yourself a favour, everyone. Photos are wicked. I'm a sponsor for a series myself, and I think there's nothing better at the end of the season than getting a photo of someone's car with a thank you on the bottom of it for sponsoring my car at the end of the season. Yeah. I think it's great. So do yourself a favour and get into Angry Man and say, mate, I want some photos done, because honestly, we need this bloke to stay at Speedway because he's the best in the country, and if he walks away or loses his interest in Speedway, he's going to be a great loss, that's for sure. So do
Yeah.
yourself a favour, keep him out there and get some photos, people.
It's a simple thing. If you want quality sponsor, you need to provide them with a quality photo.
Yep. Nah, and I understand with him not taking heaps of photos because a lot of photos he doesn't sell, you know. So
Yeah.
why do that? You're just wasting your time, you're wasting your money and effort. And I totally agree with him. And like I said, look him up, get on there, inbox him, get some photos taken, people, because like I said, he's the best in the country, and we are so lucky in Tasmania to have him here. It's awesome. So big shout out to Jared there too. Right, what else have we got? Don't know. What else have we got? Dirty Merch. Amy at Dirty Merch. She's reinvented our new emblem again. They've come out with some good new products too. They've got doors now, little side doors you can put up on your walls. T-shirts, colouring in books for kids. They've got everything too. So big shout out to Amy at Dirty Merch once again for doing all that design of our background. And just help it out, like
Again?
again. And she's been hectic. I've pumped her the last few days with different ideas I had, and she's just took it on the chin and done it for me. So thank you very much, Amy. We really appreciate it. And do yourself a favour, look up Dirty Merch on Facebook. She's got some great products. Now, stickers this year, Lee. We're going to give out some stickers too. We're going to have first feature winners, second place and third place. I didn't know nothing about the second and third places till I got the email, but I think they're a good idea as well.
Yeah, I've seen the initiative before in the High Limit series in the sprint cars in America. They put them on the tail tanks.
Yep.
Naturally for the feature winners, and I know the Pro Dirt Late Model series in West Australia, they'll put them on the fuel tanks.
Yep.
So I think, like I said, I think that to win and I've said this before too. I think, you know, Steve and Nathan do an amazing job of our series to start with, and for the money they've created around the series, the hype and the sponsors, it's hard enough to win a series round down here where a sticker's great to start with, but I think it deserves a trophy, and same thing like a check on the wall, because to win a feature between Callum Harper's there, Dave Nichols is there, Adam Beachy, Mark Alexander, and the list goes on and on and on, and you got to be on. And even, you know, last year we had several different winners over that past year. You know, it's great to see for the division, but I love that. Yeah, we're getting stickers to start recognising that. Yeah, it is. I know it's only a series, but man, you compare this to the Queensland series, the West Australian series, the Victorian series, the New South Wales series. This is probably the biggest series you got. So if you win a Tasmanian series night, man, you've done a good job.
Yeah, nah. Trophies.
I'll even podium for that argument.
Yeah, trophies are a good thing. I definitely agree with them. I think they're a great idea. I don't know what we're planning with any of that. I haven't spoke to Nathan or Steve about that. But I spoke to Steve earlier on in the season and said, let's get some feature winner stickers and put on cars, because I seen them on the High Limit series like you did, and I've seen them on a couple of sprint car boys down here. And I reckon it looks good on a race car where you see, 8, 9 feature winner stickers if you're that good of a driver. It just shows the talent that you can do with your driving, which is great. We've also got stubby holders this year. Dwayne and his partner from Southern Stubby Holders, they've done them, so they'll be in the pits. $15 each, or 3 for $40. T-shirts and jumpers, of course. Emma from EB Graphics does a great job. We'll have them all in the pits on Saturday, so if anyone wants to hop down there and grab one, please.
I am looking forward to seeing what this year's merch is, because last year's was fantastic.
I've already seen that.
Right.
They do look good. They're actually completely different. Like last year was really bright, and I thought that was excellent. But this year she's gone completely different to what the last two have been, which is, it's good. It's good.
Nice.
Big shout out to the promoters and all the volunteers. Everyone that does work around the Super Sedan division. Nathan wanted me to just give a thanks to the promoters, guys, Steve and their teams, and the board behind them. Big thanks to all the fans and the supporters of our division, and shout out to all the volunteers. So I thought I'd send that out there. I think we've pretty much covered everything that I've had sent to me from Nathan. So if I've missed anything, Nathan, I do apologise. There's a lot there. It's a big email. So.
You suggested that.
Sorry?
I'll read the email now. You suggested that. I'll let you know afterwards.
And people don't know, Lee, that you don't just do your car. You have a fair bit to do with Paul Howard's car too, don't you?
Yeah, so look, Paul was. Look, I like helping people. I've been lucky enough to have a lot of great teachers and supporters with these race cars that, taught me a lot of stuff along the way. Michael's Craig Vosbergen, for anyone that doesn't know, and Brent's a former late model national champ, and Dad's obviously well known in his own right. And I had a lot of great teachers over the years, and when I see people struggling that I know I can help, I want to help them. And Paul Howard was. It was a good family friend of the Johnstons, which is obviously my wife's maiden name, my wife's family. And when I seen him struggling and me and him started to get along, I wanted to help him because he seemed like in Speedway you do find genuine people, I believe, and there's some people that you probably waste your time on that weren't worth your time.
Yep.
And Paul Howard wasn't one of them. So Paul Howard's done a lot for me, and I just try and give back what I can to him. And at the end of last year, it was the December, I couldn't tell you, might have been the 7th or 8th, whenever Jock comes home for that Super Joe shootout, or Smoking Joe shootout. Yep. Paul had his car sold. So Paul was fed up with it, he had enough, and when he got to that point, it was my time to help him. So before that meeting, I identified a couple of problems that he had that, look, we can't fix them now, but we'll fix these before Boxing Day, just give me a chance. And between that December meeting and Boxing Day, we spent a couple of nights in his car, on and off the phone, going through stuff, and he turned it around. That year, which was obviously this January that just come about, he qualified 3 out of 4 weekends. Yep. Where the year before, he didn't qualify for any of those shows. Yeah. So then, same thing when it came to the end of the season, where same thing is just getting used to sort of his new shock program and stuff that we done with his car. He put it on the front row of the last row of Hobart, and he won his first ever heat race at Carrick, which was the second last show. So I enjoy seeing that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. He didn't enjoy seeing the end of the season because he was starting to get on a roll. And he goes, who's like this to finish now?
Exactly right. So look, he's obviously bought a late model now, and me and him spoke about that. I'll be a shock guy for that as well, so I'll give him a hand and be any assistance that I can with that car as well. But I've also got Luke Wilson under my wing as well, so I'll make room with him and sort of tutor him a little bit and try and get that going. So same thing again, he's driving for John Metcalf, which John's got 4 cars now. He's one car's kind of, there's talks that Josh Tinning might jump back in that car, which was the Justin Goss car that raced last year. Yep. Andrew's back this year, but Andrew's waiting on engine parts, and then obviously his stepson Brendan is also racing. So I thought just to help John out a little bit, I'll sort of take Luke under my wing and try and steer him in the right direction, because John's got a lot going on. He prepares Brendan's car all week, and John's a 72-year-old man. Like, he doesn't need to be doing 2 cars. But so
the funny thing is, he's one of the most genuine guys you'll ever find. He's he would give you the shirt off his back if you wanted it. He's just a ripper bloke, John. And to field 4 cars, well, just I take my hat off to him. And the thing is, you walk by his trailer, you're always welcome to stop and have a chat. He's just a great man.
And the cars always look good.
Like I had an incident with a scrutineer at the Tassie title that was at Carrick, not the one just gone the year before, of a bonnet scoop. And he was the first one over saying, look, did you hear you need a bonnet scoop? Like, is your air cleaner too high? And the next day he bought me an air cleaner scoop. He was like, no, don't worry about it. Just put it on. I don't want any money for it. Yeah. So he's just, if you needed something, and he says it quite openly, that if you need something and not have it, he'll help you out. I know he helped Corey Jetson last year in one of the series over the Charlene off his car. And I've tried helping him where I could. He needed some parts off me, and same thing. I just took him out of my trailer because I knew John was good for it, and he's just one of the genuine ones. Yep. Yeah. So it's like I said, I have no problem with the genuine people in the sport, like your Paul Howards and one of that. I think that are worth my time to try and help. And same thing again, if I ever need something from those guys that I do help, I feel they'll do the same thing for me. And those guys fall in that criteria. So just like Paul Howard, Paul would same thing. Get the shirt off his back. He's done a hell of a lot for me, and I'll help him till the cows come home.
He's not necessarily the brightest guy, because he keeps giving me a car to drive at practice days, and even let me have his Tassie 6 for a couple of heats. I tried not.
That's the sort of guy he is.
Too much.
His whole family's a great family. Steph, his wife as well. She's a nice, Paul, top bloke, they'll go either way, and I get some great coffees, his wife makes awesome coffees, like in the pits. So yeah, she knows as soon as she sees me. Oh, do you want a coffee, Jamie? Yes, thanks. So yeah, no,
Exactly
great people. Yeah, awesome. And who is it? Is it Michael? Who's the pit crew man? I'm bad with names. He's a good bloke too.
Yeah, Teddy needs to keep Michael happy because Michael, I spoke to Teddy the other day actually, and so Teddy wasn't racing, so that was just like, yep, not happening. So Michael rebodied the car, worked on it, buffed tyres and everything, and then he was like, okay, I guess we're going racing this weekend. Teddy didn't lay a finger. Michael's been in the shed getting the car ready. He's like, oh, well, we're going racing.
So he's got a Super and a late model now, has he?
Yeah, so he bought Luke Gunn's late model. So Luke Gunn, a couple of years ago, bought the Tim Pike sellout, which was a complete car with spares and whatnot, to really pull the engine out of it to put in his Super. So Luke's obviously had problems with his SB2 engine, that big engine that he got from the Nicolas.
Yep.
And same thing again, they spent 2 years rebuilding it. I think it was the start of January. He had that test day at Hobart it was, and then I think he dropped the lifter and it buggered a bunch of stuff. So, Teddy ended up buying that. He had his eye on it for a long time. I will say that. Teddy was talking about it, and Teddy liked the idea of having 2 cars, and well, he's a grown man. He can make his own decisions. Yep. So if that's what he wants to do, then that's what he wants to do. Yep. But ideally, he's going to have 2 complete cars. So it's not like he's going to rob the running gear out of the Super Sedan to go on the late model. Yep. He's quite busy with work. So if there came a weekend where he could race and Super Sedans are on, the late models aren't, he'll race the Super and vice versa. So, but just Teddy's one of those genuine guys where, he needed help and had the car sold. And I think it's in the best interest of everyone in the division to try and keep these cars around. Like you'll see him in a Super now that we helped him, but like I said, you would have seen it. His car was advertised in December last year.
Yep.
So, if I didn't help him, did we just lose a car? And sort of same thing with John. If you don't help John out, well, John's got 4 cars. When he stops, you lose 4 cars.
Yep.
So you can to keep those guys around.
Yep. Credit to you, Lou. You do a great job. Like, hats off to you, mate. To go out of your way and help other people out, there should be more of you in Speedway. It's great credit to you. So,
appreciate
what are you aiming at, Lou? What meeting are you aiming at of getting out in your car?
Look, at the start of the year, I put a press release on our Facebook page saying that we're going to have a year off.
Yep.
I more kind of did that. We needed time to rebuild. Our program wasn't running like it should have. And we really were struggling to find our feet from when I moved from West Australia to Tassie. When we moved from West Australia to Tassie, I still had my old car, my Dominator, that we were, quite fast in, but we inherited this Insane from Lucas Roberts. But between moving and starting family, getting married and all that, the car never really got enough attention. So over the last 2 years, it was kind of just, what are we doing? Like I race for fun first, absolutely, that's what you should do, but we also spend enough money and have the equipment to go win these races.
Yep.
And, you guys know my blood. I'm a really rich pedigree on Mossbergen and Aylett. Winning is something, we do. And when that stuff does happen, you start pointing fingers. And when it came to, making that decision to sort of sit out, it was, well, maybe I need some time. Let's rebuild and restructure and see what's going on. I have no doubt my ability needs work. That's just like everyone. We all blame our cars, but I don't think cars are all the problem. But I wasn't as busy and as focused and dialed in as I was probably the year before I moved here. So that year before I moved here, I was training, I was working out, and then it was just I was focused on a race car.
Yep.
So it was all I could think about, and it was the 7 weeks I had off to go do that. It was my job. So we left Western Australia. We did the Tri-City Series. We raced at Mount Gambier, Portland, and I think Hamilton got rained out. We ran 3rd and 2nd at those. Ran 4th at the K-Rock Cup. Then we went to January for the Tasmanian title, the one that Jamie Collins won. And like I said, I don't know if you guys remember that at all, but I started 4th, got the 2nd, passed Matty, passed Callum, was going to make an attempt to pass Jamie, and that's just when pretty well shit hit the fan. Yeah. The car was never the same since that wreck. We battled demons, even when we took that car back to Perth. But my last race in that car, we were leading a heat race at Albany, which was the Bert Vosbergen Memorial. We were leading the points. All we had to do was finish that heat and we were on the pole for the feature. But we broke a steering rack just rolling around, didn't knock wheels at anyone, and jammed in the fence.
Yep.
So when we had the demons with that car, then the problems we had with this insane when we first moved here, I just felt like we needed a break. Then when we made the decision to order this car, it was first really said, right, we'll order this car, but we'll take some time off. So just take your time with the build. We'll give you your money, obviously, and just we'll build it over the next 12 months. And then when the national title, which has now been announced, that was meant to be at Latrobe, which it is at Latrobe, will be fresh. We'll have engines, gearboxes, tyres, whatever we need will be stocked up.
Yep.
Then my wife was pregnant. So then that just kind of threw a spanner where, well, her car's sitting here, got the new one coming, and the new one was running ahead of schedule.
Yep.
I was like, well, I'm feeling okay. I think, why not? Why don't we just roll this thing out and try and get comfortable, and then same thing, kind of have our eyes forward to the national title at Latrobe. So I'd ideally like to do the one at Warrnambool, but so I've sold my F-Truck. My F-Truck bought my wife and I's house. We sold our trailer, which bought my wife a car, a road car, just a 7-seater family car. So to get my Holden Colorado and my open trailer on the boat was $3,300 return. So that's a lot of money just to get to, Geelong and back. And so we kind of wrote that off unless we had a good January. But for now, we just kind of look one race at a time. So we're going to try and make the 6th, which that's not going to happen at this stage. When we get the car home, we've still got a lot of work to do. We'll try and make the 13th at this stage, which will be at Hobart. And if we don't make that, we'll make it the Boxing Day. So
cool.
Try and get a run in the car before January. But if I'm going to be honest, I haven't sort of rolled into a season this confident in a long time. So I flew up to Ian Botcher Race Parts to help assemble my car, essentially to come home. And, we're working close with those guys with this car. And it's probably the first time I've had help, but that close of help between Greg Botcher, David Knight, which are the car owners to the Queensland 36 car, and just to sit down with their engineer Brenton and Nathan and even Todd Atkins, because he's a fabricator for him now. We went through a lot of stuff, and then same thing, we changed shock guys. Now we're with Brock Atkins from Elite Shock Services because he's ordered a brand new car. And we have a lot of internal information and backing between just the Atkins boys and Ian Botcher Race Parts, where we're not trying to figure stuff out for ourselves anymore. We can bounce ideas between Brock Atkins, Brenton Knight, Greg Botcher. It's to be in that little circle with those guys and to be communicating with them like we are. It's opening night can't come around quick enough. I'm confident, I'm not cocky at all, but and I want to perceive myself as being a humble guy, but like I said, we've got a lot of things going on behind the scenes with this Gen 6 Dominator that the last time their car rolled out here, like I said, it was so dominant. Yep. They obviously didn't win the character they told, but the Grand Prix Grand National that they were here for, they won, and they did it in easy fashion. It wasn't lucky, it was the fastest car here. And we tend on rolling out exactly with what they had here in January, but in December. So if all goes well, we should have a really fast hot rod. But just one night at a time. So we'll focus on the 13th and just get the car ready and just try and iron out those issues and try and have a really good race car when it comes to the Gene Cook race.
Awesome, Lee. That's awesome, mate. Before we go, Lee, it's been great having you on the show tonight. Before we go, is there any people out there, you can't do this by yourself. Is there any people you'd like to thank?
Yeah, look, I've got a list. So like I said, I'll first thank my wife and my beautiful daughter, Lauren. It's one thing, obviously, having money backing and support backing, but to come home, to my wife and my kid is an absolute blessing. And I don't think enough people do realise what sort of mental support and stability they do give you. So, like I said, I do sort of 10 to 14-hour days in a truck, and then same thing, then I'll go work on a race car. But knowing that they're there, and Claire does look after me very well. If those days I do work long, she's got the house looked after, she's got Lauren looked after, and ultimately she does it as a solo parent all the time. So I've got to give her a massive amount of credit for that, especially with the race car stuff. It is hard, but I'll first give that to her. Obviously, Ian Botcher Race Parts, Dominator Race Cars, Elite Shock Services, just to invite me into their program and what we're going to be doing this year, and I'm excited for that. My biggest one would be Dunedin Freight Distribution, which is my boss, who I work for as a truck driver. So he helps support the car, and he keeps the fuel in it, the oil in it, and he gave us a bit of money towards the new car. And pretty well the backbone of my operation, which is Hydraulic Resource. They've been family friends of mine since I was sort of 10, 11. Ange and Wayne, they're beautiful people, and yeah, when I told them about this new car, they were a bit sceptical about it first, but then when it comes time to go work on the car, they just said, what do you need? What can we do? And even when I got stuck with the Vic Hill, and anytime I had big purchases that we probably need to make, they were the first ones to put their hand in to help us. And I've always said there's no Aylett Motorsport, there's no me without them, because financially, obviously, that's how we do this game, right? And they've been the biggest supporter of my program for the last probably 5 years. And from going from just, I was 19 when I bought my first car and built that program all myself, and couldn't really make that national step to be a national car. They made that step for me. So whatever equipment we needed, whatever gear we needed to sort of put it up to your Steve Lathams, your Harpers, your Joel Berkeley's, Kane, Atkins boys. Like it's, they've made that possible for me, and ultimately it's a dream come true, because yeah, I look at myself as an underdog, even though my name might speak for itself, but that didn't really mean I had it all my own way. Yep. So Hydraulic Resource, I can't thank them enough. Mobile Fleet Maintenance, he's a Georgetown heavy diesel mechanic. Brett and Abby Evans, the team there, they do a fantastic job. They look after our road cars, and he's come on board this year. He's just another rev head local here that loves cars, and he's come to give me a hand this year, so I can't thank him enough for that. And yeah, I can't wait to see where that goes, and he'll be the first one here, I reckon, when the car rocks up, because he's more excited than me at this stage. My brother from Plug Kicks, yeah, my brother's been obviously a massive supporter since go-kart days, but yeah, he's just one of those guys that I owe him a lot on teaching me how to be a professional. You guys obviously mentioned how I speak so well and present so well, and all the rest of it. It's he's probably a lot to blame for that, if I'm absolutely honest. There was one guy that
we just lost Rocky. He's just lost him. Keep going, mate.
But he was just one guy that yeah, put me out to be professional, and how I got about my business. He was a semi-professional basketball player, and yeah, that was watching him do that against all odds, and how he went about it probably taught me a lot. Darren Pulford from Water on Wheels for all your water needs around Latrobe, Devonport, Ulverston area. He's been a supporter of mine, same thing, since go-karts, and he crewed for Dad for a lot of years. And
there he is.
Oh, Robin,
I'm back.
We lost you, mate.
Mate, yeah. Oh, it's past me bedtime.
And like I said, Water on Wheels, Darren Pulford, like I said, he's obviously go-kart days. He's been an incredible supporter, and same thing again when this no car happened. He did what he could in spite of him, looking at retirement. So I can't thank him enough. Uncle Rodney, Arnie Cowan, they've helped me since I've got here. Sort of Rodney's, just helped me with any fabrication I needed. He put the tyre rack on my trailer. And What the For Food Catering, they've done the food for our wedding. They do an absolutely awesome job. They're also the Larder Cafe in Devonport.
Yep.
If you ever need a coffee or a nice bacon and egg on toast, they're the people to do it. Donna and the team, they do an awesome job. So we got a lot of supporters on this car, but yeah, it's an exciting year for Aylett Motorsports in this new Dominator Gen 6 Vic Hill powered Elite Shock Services Dominator.
Awesome, mate. Can't wait to see you on the track, mate. It's going to be absolutely sick. Best of luck this year, Lee. We hope it all goes well for you. Can't wait to see the car on track. You're an unreal driver. I love watching you drive because you don't hold back, mate. She's all flat to the boards. We hope it all goes well with you, and hopefully we'll catch up with you during the year.
Awesome, thank you. I do also have to thank, same thing again, just Guy Thompson, Stephen Jessup for all the work they do for Supers, and any fans, supporters, just anyone that sort of buys the Tassie merch or any driver merch. Like I said, support the people that support us, and without you guys we don't have a show. And to my good friend Ryan Alexander, he's actually come on board too. Him and his wife Jess Alexander helped me out a little bit this year too, so a bit privately, but yeah, he's a real good friend of mine, and you might even see him in January. But
awesome.
Yeah, it's
be great.
And all the volunteers. Obviously, we don't do this without volunteers, so it's yeah, bloody awesome.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for joining us again, Rocky. We'll catch up with you next episode. Actually, I'll see you on Saturday. Don't forget, everyone, the Iron Horse Bar and Grill Blitz at Cranes Combined Carrick Speedway this weekend. Do yourself a favour, get out there and have a look. It'll be a great meeting. 19 super sedans plus heaps of other cars in all divisions. You'll catch me there, you'll catch Rocky there, and yeah, get out and support your local. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope you've had a great night. We know the episode's gone a little bit longer than normal, but hey,
thanks, buddy.
This is what we love. We love our sport, so why not put it out there? Thanks for joining us, everyone, and have a good night.